Welcome back to part 2 here. It is now Monday, July 5th, and I completed my first day of order packaging, and so things have changed a little bit around here. We're a little bit more cluttered on the countertops and such. That's why I don't usually make a lot of product while I'm packing orders. It's just so that I use a lot of the countertops. So as I go for right now, we'll try to get caught up. I'm making some wax melt samples up. This is just a brittle, and I've got my boxes, and these are the gift sets. They have been moved yet again. And then here are the soaps. So here we have, this one is the peppermint. I had moved it to a different counter temporarily, so out of order from the last video. And then here's the fir needle and cedarwood with the spinach, and oh, I just love it. It just has this light speckle, and it's just a really nice kind of like spring green color. It's super pretty. So we have some boxes still made up for tomorrow. And I was just thinking, I sure would love a bigger table, like when I go to split the loaves. I'm gonna have to put them behind me on this other counter because of this beam. I can't have a longer table here. So yeah, so this is just kind of in progress. We have a fun order pulled. I was getting started on it, and then I was like, I'm feeling tired and I just want to get started on the rest. There's a little peeky this direction while we're at it. So the products have been hit decently already. A lot of rainbow fusions going out, a lot of rainbow romance. Anyway, we're making some progress here, and it's just so bright here in the dormer. I need to get that window washed as well. I think my husband said he would climb out on the roof and risk his life to clean the window for me. So here's the stack orders. Man, it's definitely backlit now, but anyway, there's a stack of orders I need to work on. Pretty thick amount. I'm thankful. But we do still have quite a bit of product left. Mostly, actually, it's predominantly in some of the wax melts and the soap samplers, but the soap samplers are so cool. So we really need you to come along and get some of these so I don't have them taking up space for too long. But it's such a great sampler. I love it. I mean, like if I didn't have all these samples myself, oh, I was going the wrong way. I would totally be all over this myself. Why can't I open it with one hand? But here we go. I just love it. It's so great. It's actually one of the cheaper things to ship, unfortunately. Boy, I can't do anything one-handed today, apparently. Anywho's it's all right. So I am going to put this back. I need to get my gloves on and get prepared. I'll put the camera onto a tripod, and then we will unmold and cut these soaps. Alrighty, I should be able to cut these as I unmold them, but I guess if I feel like they're a hint soft, I may wait to cut them on another day. I just really would like to go ahead and get them cut and moved off. But sometimes when I unmold my soaps, there's still a hint soft because they haven't been exposed to the air yet. Just kind of shimmy it out. Alright, let's see if this size is good. Yeah, I like that height. Oh, it smells amazing. Let's see what size this is. It's just under 3 inches tall. see, I think I probably would have preferred it to be at 3 inches, so this was just kind of a test run for me, but I may actually increase the batch size just a little bit if I do the whole smaller bar deal. I think this is going to be fine and dandy to go ahead and cut with the reduction of water and the tallow. It definitely hardens up the soap even more. It smells amazing. I can tell that these have hardened up quite a bit because they're super easy to come out of the mold. Sometimes if the batch is just like a little, it's a little sticky still, it usually hasn't shrunk down yet. Oh, smells like Christmas. Smells like a candy cane. Between that and this one, oh my goodness, it smells so good in here. We have a lot of cedar in Missouri, so I love cedar. Now this one does feel, it should be the same, yeah. Yeah, I think these are ready to go ahead and split and cut. I get asked every now and again, why don't I have just silicone liners and such? Well, my husband built my molds for me based on my specifications. And I could get new molds. So far, I paid about $30 for this freezer paper, and I can't remember what time of year I started it last year. I think kind of like last summer. And I suspect I'll be using it for another year. So, you know, price-wise for me, the freezer paper is worth the extra effort that I take. I priced it out to replace my molds with silicone liners because I would probably just want brand new molds made by somebody with the liners that are made specifically for them, and it was going to cost me around $2,000, and not really ready for that right now. So I will probably just keep on keeping on with my freezer paper, especially since I have it. I might as well use it. It doesn't do me any good just sitting on a roll forevermore. Alright, I am going to get my splitter, and I will be back to cut this. I have my splitter here now. It is from Smith Creek Studio, and I don't think they make them anymore, but it is a really nice splitter. And I'm going to still cut these at 2.5. Seems like I need to tighten my wire just a little bit. Ooh, I just love speckles. I love it when they come naturally. I love them from sprinkles. Oh, it smells so good. I just adore cedar. I love it when my husband's working in the field and he needs to cut some cedar, and I'm like, I'm there. I want to smell that fresh cedar heart. So good. All right, let's see. It didn't seem like it was untight, but it was. If I tighten things too much, sometimes they'll just pop, and then I'll be like, husband, come rescue me, please. Because there's some things it's kind of like, you know, I think my grandma always said, if you don't learn how to change a tire, you don't have to change a tire, which I don't really hold to that super much, you know, a lot. I think it's smart to learn how to do things, but it's one of those things I've just, to date, have not taken the time to figure out how he changes wires. But in a pinch, I could handle it, I'm sure. But I do tend to just ask him to come do it if he's around. Now that the pandemic, it's not over, obviously, but it's kind of back to work. So he's been remote. He's remote anyway, but he'll have to start traveling a little bit again this month and next month. So I gotta be able to take care of my own self. Nice. This smells just super good. I love these. I probably should get a picture of them in the loaves, but I don't know that I will take my time to do that. This is upside down, but oh, it's so good. I just like to keep my bottle of alcohol around. Easily wipe things down before I move to the next one. I use 70% for pretty much my cleaning and sanitizing and such. Love alcohol. I don't know why. It's just one of my favorite things. In a spray bottle. I don't really drink it. Did have a pina colada the other day though. That was delightful. That was delightful. We tend to be alcohol purchasers, but not alcohol drinkers. We'll get some like Cayman Jacks or some rum or whatever every now and again, and then we don't actually drink it. I can tell you what I am super duper excited for though. I've been making smoothies. We've been running to like an orchard slash farm stand. It's about 15 miles away or something, but we've been doing that a lot and getting some peaches and berries. Of course, I love tomatoes, so we've been getting tomatoes, and soon, oh, smells amazing. This is the peppermint, and soon I'm hoping that they get some green beans and stuff. I am growing some things, but it's been so dang hot in Missouri that it's struggling just a little bit this year, but I don't grow enough to really do a lot. So I like to supplement from the farm stand. But anyway, what I've been craving and I'm planning on making when I'm done here today are smoothies. Oh my goodness. Peach, and I'll do peach and strawberry and blueberry or peach and whatever. So yesterday I made us peach and blackberries and watermelon. Oh my goodness. I don't know that I've had watermelon in a smoothie before. It is so good. So do that. I add in a little milk, a little kefir. I use blueberry kefir. I used to make kefir, but now I just pretty much buy kefir from Lifeway. It's just, I got tired of straining the grains and doing all that every day. So put in a little bit of honey, some local honey, and oh, have yourself a delightful treat for the summer. It's cold, especially if we freeze our peaches and everything. It's all frozen except for the watermelon. Whoa, it's so good. So good. So I'm up here craving that. It's so hot. It's 100 degrees. We've had more hot weather so far in June and now starting July than sometimes we even have in the entirety of our summer. So, whew. So I have my single wire cutter here from Bud's Wood Shop. And if I like this, I'm probably going to buy a multi-cutter. I am not super excited about revisiting this little guy. Let me tell you why. For the samplers, I cut 1,100 of these soaps using the single cutter. It was 18 different batches, 60-ish bars per batch. Yeah, I'm not ready to visit this guy yet, but we're gonna do it. All right, so I'm going to cut them at 1 inch, and that is what I do love about these single wire cutters. And I really think I'll cut a sample off the end. They really are the way to go, especially if you're just beginning. So nice to just be able to adjust it to the size that you want. So definitely not knocking the single cutter. I love it, and I used it for a lot of years. So I'm doing the peppermint first. And I certainly love this thing. I'm not ready to visit with him again yet. But these, that's a cute bar. I feel like it's a little wide. I don't know. Wide this way. I don't know. We'll see what I think. 'Cause it's obviously going to cure down a little bit. So I just love this texture. It's so good. So if you are not a vegetarian, you know, vegan type person, you should try tallow. It's best to get grass-fed. And is this moving? I can't tell. It doesn't seem like it's moving. It's just best to get really good quality tallow. You know, if you raise beef, then you probably already render your own. We do raise beef, just for us, but, well, not just for us. We do family, for family as well, but I don't render tallow or anything. It's just, that is not up my alley. That is not my thing. I have a pretty strong aversion to the smell of beef fat. I love a roast cooking, but if it's fatty, then yeah, I don't like that. That is no good for me. I want to run out of my own danged house. So these ones, oh, I just love this. Now, I have spent all of my soap making years pretty much disliking 1-inch bar soaps. But they're just, using those soaps, like I mentioned in the first video from Lovely Body, and in Canada, and also Ellen Ruth, oh, totally inspired a love of these smaller bars. Now my husband's probably gonna be like, hey, what is this funny business? As he does like big bars of soap because he has big hands. But you know, a lot of us are, I do have a lot of customers obviously that vary in size and shape and such, but for the most part, I think a lot of us will like these smaller bars. I did do a poll back in the day, and people tended to prefer my bigger bars because I normally cut at 1.25, and they're usually a little taller. So, you know, there's that. Everyone likes a little something different. But like I mentioned in the first video, I was thinking, hey, maybe people could try. My line is veering, and it's, oh, my line already veered. Oh my goodness, driving me a little bonkers. I am just, deep breath. I'm just going to put them right on another tray. So what difference does it make? What was I saying? I don't know. But basically just through the years, I don't know, maybe I'm past that, what I was saying. Most people have preferred the bigger bars, but it's time to, I just want change. I want something different. I love everything that I do, but every now and again it feels a little stagnant, and I just want to, I guess I could come sideways a little bit. That'd actually put me a little closer to my rows. Anyway, just sometimes I feel like things get stagnant. That's why I don't think I could really be the type that keeps one or certain products in stock at all times, because I get bored and then I don't want to look at things or do things. But now that I've had a little bit of a break, I'm totally ready to make like figgy cream. Oh, can't wait. Cannot wait. So I might, what do you think? Should I make figgy cream in this size as well? A smaller bar? I just think that would be so nice. I'm pretty much out of my boxes from Wholesale Supplies Plus, and I don't know, I'm just irritated about buying boxes and it costing a fortune. So, and you just throw them away anywho's it. So, well, hopefully you recycle, but you know what I mean. Kind of like a one-time thing for those boxes. Alright, I am just going to keep cutting and not yammering on and on and on and on and on with you. And I'll be back to cut the greenish one. I'm back for a minute. Have we acknowledged how creamy this is? It's so creamy. Okay, it says macro, so I think it's all right. It's so creamy. I love soap. I love soap so much. I wanted to show you this. So my friend Jody with Gording Around, she was the one that contributed. We collaborated on the gift boxes. She makes these Sudsy sidekicks, and they are freaking amazing. And of course, I love this one because it's got like rainbows, but she uses all different fabrics. But it's for, you know, washing dishes and all the things. And I adore them. And when I get soap on this stainless steel, this works just the absolute best. I just love these things. I use it at the sink. And I have one that I keep around for such things as this. Of course, I have to wash them, but they work better than a lot of stuff. A lot of things. And to buy Sudsy Sidekicks and Jody's products, you join her Facebook group, Gording Around Facebook group, and you'll have to answer some questions, I'm pretty sure. But tell her that Holly from Missouri River Soap sent ya. Alright, so now for the fir needle cedar wood. It's mostly cedar wood and fir needle. So it's about, I don't know if I ever mentioned the blend. I think I did 75% cedar wood and it was 25% fir needle. But Brambleberry and Wholesale Supplies Plus both were just having a major sale on essential oils, and I stocked up. So I'm excited to have some more of that coming in. Oh, I just can't even with these. They're so good. I love the speckles. So pretty. Now, when you use herbs or vegetable powders or whatever in the soaps, they can fade over time. So that's something to keep in mind. Spinach powder I don't have a whole lot of trouble with. It usually hangs in there. You know, we have a lot of different natural colorants that we can use, but they don't always end up being the color once they've been saponified and all of that. So these are just in my way and they're making me a little bit twitchy. So inside the soap is just the fresh cuts. It's a little bit of a sharper scent at the moment, but it'll mellow out like the outsides. Oh, I was going to mention, I don't think I mentioned it in the making. I like Cedarwood Atlas. Cedarwood Atlas. And it smells more like actual cedar, as you would think of cedar being. Sometimes, tell you the truth, sometimes I get a note of pickles. So if you wanted to make pickle soap, you could almost do this too. But every nose is a little bit different. And anyway, I like Cedarwood Atlas. Now the regular cedarwood, it's very it's not, I guess I should go with earthy / soil, not necessarily dirty. It has some of that kind of a weird note like patchouli does sometimes, where it just kind of gets a little on the dirty side. But yeah, I like the Atlas. That's my favorite. Now, everyone's different, so, you know, whatever floats your boat. I was just watching, I watch a lot of like Expedition Unknown and Expedition X, and I saw that Phil Torres, he's on Expedition X, and he and his wife named their baby Atlas, and I thought, I actually really like that. I'm more of a traditional name person, but I thought that really fits because he's kind of an explorer biologist type, and I thought that is just a fun name. I love it. It would be a great name for a dog someday, so I'm going to keep that in mind. I had our first Doberman. I had that name picked out for nearly 20 years before we got to naming that. Of course, it didn't last. His name was Riggs. That did not last. So. And then my dog Maverick is named after Top Gun, but I hadn't really had that picked out for a long time or anything. Anyway, I've noticed that a lot of people are naming dogs Maverick now because of the new Top Gun movie. I've not seen it. I've heard it's really good, but we're not really theater people, so we'll just wait till it comes out and put dogs into a different room, turn on the surround sound, and go and enjoy it at home. But anyway, I don't know. Side notes, I guess. Little side topics. I know some people complain about the side topics, but a lot of people love the side topics, so I can't please everyone, so I just go with my gut. I go with what pops into my head, and if you hear the little silly giggles, that's just what happens. It came out. That's no act. It's just, if you were sitting here with me, these are the things that roll through my brain. I am always thinking, always like pondering things, and my husband will tell me sometimes that he's like, I lost you like 5 topics ago. I'm still processing your first topic. I haven't had a chance to say anything, but yet you're like 5 topics down the road. That's just how I am. It's like that meme where it's like your computer has like 20 tabs open and you don't know where the music's coming from. That's me completely. Except for a funny quirk. I hate having tabs open on my computer. I don't like tabs open. I don't like there to be any notifications on my phone. If it says 1, I will go to the effort to make sure that it does not say 1 anymore. But my husband, on the other hand, every now and again I have to hop onto his computer, and he's one of those that has like 20 tabs open and probably doesn't know where the music is coming from. Anyway, I am just completely in love with these batches. I can't even tell you how much I love these batches, and I'm so excited to be making more things. I want to play around with some more natural colorings. I have off and on through the years, but it's on my heart, on my mind to do it, so I'm going to do it. And hopefully, sorry about that hanging off and being a little jostly there. I was not focusing on that part. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is get it all lined up on the tray again. Now, cold processed soap requires a cure. It is going to sit on the rack for about 2 months, at least 4 weeks. I prefer 6 to 8. I feel like 8 is ideal. But cold processed soap needs that time to not only evaporate the excess liquid, which these ones having reduced water, it's not going to take as long. But it really needs to go through, it does like a little magical process around 2 months. And what was great soap is amazing soap. So cold processed soap definitely needs to cure. So keep that in mind. You have to be patient. So here we have I just want to call it spinach soap, but you know, it's the cedarwood fir needle colored with spinach powder. It's going onto the curing rack. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. It's probably going to be the pack and chats next.